What's up? What's up? How you doing, Mia? Hey, Karen, how you doing? How y'all been? Fuck. Hi, Patty. I hope there is one too. I really do. How have y'all been? All right, good. I'm doing all right. Man, I'm looking crazy on here. Shit. I thought they would be back for this verdict a lot earlier than this. But you know what? Let me take that back. They've been gone for an hour and a half, right? Is it an hour and a half? Oh, an hour and 51 minutes. That's nothing. But hey Maya, how you been? I made a video about Kouri's case. I didn't want to cover it like every day, and like try to make a video or like go live about it every day. I didn't think I would have like that much to say per day. So when they were right before the state rested their case, I started compiling all the clips, and I recorded like the part where I'm in the video and in the audio. It just wasn't it. So I'm just gonna redo it and then put it out, even though like the information may be old, but it'll be new because I'm gonna bring up some things that other people haven't talked about. So no one in here. I don't how oh shoot. Guilty or not guilty with this one. What do y'all think? I think oh man. Yeah, very guilty. Um I think poisoning someone is nah. Like nah. Like shoot me or something. Do something with some some valor, you know? Like poisoning someone is just so foul. Like any form of like kill is bad, but like poisoning someone is insidious. And Kouri is just not that girl is not smart at all. Like she's where do I start? Where do I start with this? Should I start with like the evidence part or like the timeline as I know it? And then just go through the steps of hardcore KOUR stupidness. I'll do it that way. Um First, all right, so she signed a prenup, so she knows the rules of the prenup. That's the beginning. What, 2013? Like, I'm very familiar with this case, but I'm not like Dan Markel, Madeline Soto level. You know, like I'm into this case, but I got into it when certain things were talked about that I understand. So she signs a prenup, and I think that even though she read it, I don't think she really understood it. And we want prenup, we want prenup. If I don't see anything bad about prenups. I think if you're signing a contract to get into something, you maybe it's not a bad thing to sign something if it doesn't work, you know, but that's not why you marry people. It's just the prenup part for some people is kind of like as a trust thing or this or that, but I don't think it's so much so that Eric didn't trust Kouri in the beginning. I think that he had been through something before and he wants to make sure that the resources that are within his family and the resources that he gains from his business stays where he goes where he wants it to go. Right? So let's start with probably what messed it all up to begin with. The HELOC, the $250,000 HELOC behind Eric's back. Now, I think Eric did the right thing. Like, he really figured out, like, you know, she's going to do something like this behind my back. I should divorce her. And I think I think something like that is divorce territory. But I think it's really divorce territory when he has a prenup that Kouri benefits the most if he's not alive. If death do them part, right? So I think that's why he wanted to divorce her. But like, I think with the whole rearranging the trust, that was genius. And all those loans she got, like, you don't have to be the most financially savvy person to know that these loans are going to destroy you. You getting payday loans, every kind of loan that's normal, you've exhausted, and just trying to buy up properties and she doesn't know anything about rebuilding them or anything. She's just adjacent because her husband does stonemasonry. And Maya said her husband, and y'all had a prenup when you first got married. Prenups I think they're a good idea. I think some people think of it as trust, but a lot of people, you're going into a contract, and it's better to have an agreement on if things don't go well, rather than the state decide it for you or wherever you live. But Leslie says payday loans coming to earth. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I used to do debt collections, right? And it's not something that I wanted to do. It's not like, oh, this is a career choice. I didn't have many options, so I did debt collections for a little bit. And you realize the type of people you're speaking to. It's like, oh, it's that bad. It's that bad where you will borrow. You don't have $400 to the end of the week, so you go online and get $400 to pay back $500 at 20%. Those kind of terms are worse than drug debts. They are. It's it's that bad. But let me go fast forward. Hold on. I just got braces put on, and these things hurt, and I have to put this wax on, so it's probably look crazy. But anyway, and I don't have a lisp. I just have braces. I know how to talk. Let's talk about Josh. Josh, what was his name? That dude. What was his last name? It was it sounded like a Jewish name. Was it a Jewish name? Where's my phone? It was Josh something. Josh, was it? Come on, help me. Grossman, yes. All right. So I don't understand, like, all right, from a man's perspective, dealing if you're gonna go and deal with someone who's married, don't expect anything. Oh, he's writing acronyms like Kouri, like he's 30 plus. You shouldn't be doing that, bro. And you would have been like immediate stepfather, 3 kids. If this trajectory were to happen the way that he thought it was going to happen, like that is a horrible deal. And so the people in the beginning that testified in this trial, Eric's dad, Eric's sister, Kouri's side dude, all these people are people that at one point thought positively of them, right? And then all of her friends and it just shows it was a perfect way to show the trail of destruction that Kouri has in her wake, or whatever you want to call it. Then you have people like, all right, you have the medical examiner and the science people, you have the police, and then you have the older guy with the neck brace that he looks like he's about to get a settlement. I forgot his name. I'm so bad with this. He's the MVP of the whole case, in my opinion. He's the one. Like the guy who was the private investigator. Oh yeah, very he's very beta. Weapon of mass corruption. Kouri is a mess, and I forgot the detective's name, but he made this case, because I don't think if he wasn't there and Kouri and Eric's phone weren't on the company plan to where they could just hand their information over to him, I think this would be very different. But what I thought was as far as the defense, the way that they line this up, the defense can't do it. That the defense has literally nothing to work with. They called zero witnesses, and I all the people that are like character type witnesses, and everyone else. I think I break it. It's the state really only has to break down things in, like, I'd say, 4 parts: motive, intent, motive, intent, and procurement, and then administration. So the motive, intent, procurement, administration. And when you have the motive, they show all the documents about and how the trust and everything, and it shows that her debt was out of control, and the only way to get out of that is if Eric were were out of the picture. And then the intent with how she went about getting to Carmen, and it wasn't, she just didn't go to her once to have her go secure something. She did it again and did it again. And then she got what she wanted. And along with administration goes with the intent of doing it more than once. And let me ask y'all this. How do you think she got it in the sandwich? I don't know if I can see all the comments here. Any idea? So on February 14th, when Kouri does puts the stuff in the sandwich, what else? It crushed it up. Anybody else? Crush it up. Mix it with some mayo. Mayo is so foul. Round it up. And that's why he tasted it. That's likely. Pulverize and use a spice and mix with mayo. I say that because the defense did something real. I think it was stupid what they did. So, all right, let me back up a little bit. All right, if you have a dog and the dog's supposed to take medicine, you probably have put it into peanut butter or something like that, and the dog will eat it, right? Think about this. If she were to put that in food, what determines what food she puts it in? The color of the pills, right? So if Kouri got the green pills, what's the sandwich and the Moscow Mule have in common? Thank you, purple one. Let's go with this. Hamburger meat. All right, it's green powder. Now, let me break this down for you. Pills, legal and illegal, are the active ingredient and then I'm talking about tablets, and then what's called a binding agent. And a binding agent is it's a powder itself, but when pressure is applied to it, it clumps together and it forms the tablet that you probably have seen before. Now, that binding agent breaks down because it's supposed to when you digest it. If you have something that's an unnatural green color or any green color, you have to find something to put it in that A, can't be seen or easily taken away from whatever food that you're putting this in. But also, it has to be something that you can add to it, right? Pesto. Do you see we're close on that? All right. So the defense had cross-examined the dude that owned the sandwich place, and he said, the defense asked him, so what is in this sandwich? And I'm like, what is he gonna say? There you go. It was avocado. He said avocado. And I'm like, that's the peanut butter. Like, that's green peanut butter. She can just go buy another avocado at the store, cut it up, throw the mixture in there, and add it to the sandwich, and it won't really change the sandwich, right? If it's avocado, you just guacamole is from avocado. So I'm like, all right, that's how she did that. And he probably tasted it and was like, ugh. So I'm not like well versed on those type of that realm of substances, but like I don't know if they have a taste to them, but they probably do, because people associate drug efficacy with bitterness with drug efficacy. So with Eric he took a bite out of it and then was like, ew, this is nasty. He gets just enough in there to have the crazy reaction. And I read about this, and they said this in the closing argument about your body releasing histamine as if it's as if you had an allergic reaction. So an EpiPen or epinephrine people take to stop the histamine, an antihistamine as they're called, to stop that allergic reaction. But people do have that to opiates. But when that man from the sandwich shop said avocado, I was like, that's it. Because in a Moscow Mule, and this is what the thing is about this, she realized that things that are ingested aren't processed as fast if they're eaten, but if it's in a liquid, it's processed faster. So having a Moscow Mule, which is in a copper cup, it's not in a clear glass. A clear glass, you could put something in there and then look at it and be like, I don't want that. But a Moscow Mule with all that crushed up ice, lime juice, green, and it's at the bottom. So if it's put in a straw, that first swig that's what he's getting, is everything. What if she injected him while he was asleep on Seroquel? Said it wasn't in the stomach contents. That Seroquel wasn't? I don't know. If she were to inject him with something, then he would know he's being injected. I don't think there's nothing really. Seroquel is not going to do more than fucking fentanyl, man. So with I'm not sure why the prosecution didn't go into how Kouri were to be able to do that with the sandwich, but I never heard anyone talking about it. About how to put something like that in a sandwich. So I thought I'd talk about that. But the other thing I wanted to talk about is Carmen. And Carmen, I feel bad for her. And I know that, like, based on what I could see in the trial, and then like she knew that she had a part in this, and she didn't want that to happen to Eric, you know? And I think the walk the dog letter, if Carmen were to have read that, if I think Carmen's kind of a veteran in the game, so if she were to read that, she would know what Kouri would have been trying to do. And I think that Kouri, knowing that her husband employs Latinos, Mexicans, and Carmen, I mean, she all but said it. I mean, she definitely looks Mexican. So it'll look more like Carmen is the source, because it's very easy to group people and group people as if they all know each other, especially if they're minorities. It's like in certain situations, you're judged by your demographic, not as an individual. So like if Eric has a business and he has 4 Mexican guys working for him and Carmen's Mexican, well, they might know each other because they're around each other and they all español all the day, every day, all that. And so you could probably get away with that. And I think Kouri was trying to play that angle because she brought the whole Mexico thing, and then she says cartel and all that. And it just shows how much Kouri does not know about drugs and how things work. And it was just wild to me. The things she was saying is just, I gotta find that letter, but the things she was saying in that letter is like, oh, she knows nothing. This is not how it really goes down. So that even if her brother were to say those things, he would have looked stupid. But what's that guy's name? Robert Crosier. I think he was there because the prosecution knew that the defense will be on Carmen's ass and make it seem like she knew the end result for what she was providing. Because they're not going to put the fault on Kouri. They're putting it on her. And if she's the main source, then they can blame her. They can probably get away with blaming her for more. But you make her a middleman if you bring Crosier up on the stand. And Crosier was on the stand. He didn't really, I can kind of sense that he didn't really know why he was up there. He's just up there. So it can't, that whole Mexico cartel thing is out the window because she got it from that dude. So that's my opinion on that part. But damn, Robert Crosier, when he went up on the stand, that boy ain't never giving up. He's never leaving the game. As soon as I saw him with that shirt that was untucked, like, yeah, I swear to tell the whole truth. I'm like, this man is still hitting licks right now. He's never going to stop. But Carmen, the defense made a big deal about police writing her statement. The defense admitted they wrote out Crosier's statement. I don't know if it really matters. If the state writes out the statement for someone and it's all being recorded because it's in a interrogation room and the person agrees that this is what they said, why does it matter? I don't understand why that really matters. Like, that defense team is garbage, okay? It is so bad. I've said this before, you don't want to ever have to be a defendant in like a felony case or anything bad. But if you do, you don't want those type of lawyers. If you have a bad case, a good lawyer is going to tell you you might want to just plead guilty and get a deal out, get out of here. Because if they take you to if you want to go to trial, they're going to run you over. And the defense did what I think people in regular life do when they just don't have anything to counter. Grasping at straws. Exactly. Like, have you ever had an argument, or not even an argument, but a debate about a subject, and you know that person does not know what they're talking about, and it's so bad that you have to inform them the basis of their point of view? You know what I'm talking about, right? So like, you'll sit there with all the facts and they'll just be talking. They just want to talk, and when you talk, they don't listen. They're being quiet so they can talk. And then they interrupt you, and then they talk over you and try to finish your sentences, and then twist around the stuff you're saying, and then so what you're saying is, nah, what I said is this. This is a courtroom version of that. All they're doing is trying to stop the momentum, object, and just wear out the prosecution. But it wasn't working, and it just looks bad. And that's one of the reasons why they even cover this case like that. Like, I was gonna do maybe a couple days of the week, but I could not sit through hours of that trial and just see the seal of Utah for hours on end, and I got other stuff to do, you know? I'm sick. I heard it was only in the bloodstream. I haven't been able to listen to the trial with full focus, as Shirley asked rather than stated. Are you talking about the fentanyl or alcohol? But right, they had no case. They had no case. And okay, I know this is not like the nice thing to say or PC 2026, but people judge you on how you look. It's a fact. If you are unkempt, if you are overweight, if you are, people judge you based on how you look. Whether you're a defendant, an attorney, anything, people judge you on how you look. I know it's not the right thing to say, but certain ways of speaking is not effective if they come out of the wrong mouth. You see what I mean? Kouri's lawyers, their voices, their mannerisms, it just doesn't help them at all. And It's not. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong to judge someone on their looks, but it's just the way it is. All right. And shit. All right. If I have, and this is actually a fact. If I go to court for a certain or a drug case, say I have a drug case, and I am and someone who is of my demographic has the same charge, the same criminal background, and we are both guilty, studies show that I'll get a lighter sentence because I'm lighter. That's a real fact. Like, I would never go to court, I mean, with dreads, cornrows, guilty. You know what it is. Like, I've had so many friends cut off dreads and stuff when they catch a little case. It's just the way it is. And damn it, it's hard to look at those people on the screen just saying whatever. Let Bloodworth talk his talk. Shut up. And then she gets up again and she puts her hands on the desk. Oh, wow. Her and that dude. And who's the I don't know, is he Puerto Rican? Ramos. I felt bad for him. I don't think he really liked them. He's probably stuck with them. But the only reason why they're there is because most likely Kouri messed up their relationship with Sky Lázaro. So with that walk the dog letter saying Sky told me this to do this and say this, oh man. Sky, yeah, Sky withdrew from that. She wasn't having that. From BNC2. Truth is truth, and that's the way life goes. You know what? There's PC or not, but there's still like you just don't have to be an asshole about it. Like, there's certain things that are just true. And I thought about this, like, granted, this is a different case, but a way different case. But if y'all saw the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, Camille Vasquez, objection sustained, objections. And then who's that lady with the that was Amber Heard's lawyer with the helmet hair? I forgot her, but she was just, it's just, and looks matter. I mean, when Camille says objection, I'm like, yeah, sustained. But when what's her face says objection, I'm like, yeah, overruled. Sit down. Shut up. It's not really right, but it is what it is. And Camille Vasquez is a beast. And she just sat up there and knocked it out. There was no one on that defense table for Kouri Richins that was helping her at all. And not even just by what they're saying and doing, is what they're telling her to not say and do. Like, not do, because she's not saying anything. But Kouri's face, all that, that'll get, jurors don't like that. Judges don't like that. That short that I posted where the judge is like saying like their motion for mistrial or whatever Hail Mary they tried to throw. And he said it's respectfully denied. And Kouri, she didn't blink forever. It was like it was like the screen froze. And she just had looked, what I recognize as enraged. But throughout the whole trial, I went back and looked at some things, and she's smiling. Like when Robert Crosier was up there, when she said when he was asked about the Michael Jackson stuff, he's like, pardon me? And she giggled, and then she hit him with the slow blink, like the nah. No. You were really not sitting here grinning and smiling and laughing at this man. He supplied the stuff that, that's who that is. You didn't meet him before, but that's who that is. Like, you shouldn't be smiling at him. And horrible. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else what was on my mind about this. I think the prosecution just put it all together. Motive, intent, procurement, administration. That's all they really have to prove. All the other stuff helps. It's just the defense is just trying to. They're just so reactionary to everything that the prosecution is doing, and just I don't know. But who was I about to ask about? Some of the women that were like Kouri's age, that were like either spouses of Eric's friends or whatever, or even her friends. Usually those are the people that will try to like help you out. Nah, none of that. Kouri looked like she was fighting back and smirk when the prosecutor was interpreting the walk the dog letter. I didn't see that. I didn't see that part. And Kouri, there were a few instances, no blinking, 13, 14 plus seconds. That's wild. If I really wanted to, I could keep my eyes open for that long, but it burns. She just, and she did that, like, she would look at different things, and usually, like, when you look one thing, you might blink to one thing to the other. Her eyes just went, Now imagine outside of a courtroom, and it's just Kouri and Eric, and Eric says something that pisses Kouri off. Like, what does that look like? Think on that. Kouri's probably a little demon. 49 and 50 watching. 49 and 51. Oh. Hold on. But people like Kouri, their own worst enemy, they do not understand how potent and counterproductive those smirks and smearing face faces are. Their own mask slips, and the jury sees them. But true, but it worked for her before. People do what works for them. If your face looks, if she does enough of the things that work to reel people in and be their friends, be to befriend her or trust her, she's not looking like a psycho monster with those the shark eyes. Like, you don't, and she doesn't have practice being in front of like a whole bunch of people. Like, that is definitely That's psychopath land. And observing and trying to mirror the people they interact with. Yep. I think I wish that Eric like put in writing or said it in a text. If something happens, yo, it's Kouri. I mean, he might have said it to people, but if he had that in writing, it'd be I don't know why he wouldn't have that. But that's tough having to be around someone like that trying to do something like that to you. No sharks blinking. What else? What else are we gonna talk about? I wonder how long this is gonna take to get on for these people to cook this woman. I wanted to yell out, "Fix your face." Nah, let her go. Let her do what she does. I heard that 911 call during the prosecution's closing argument. I didn't hear anything in that background that seemed like she was putting effort into moving the sheet to help Eric get on the floor. None of that stuff. None of that stuff. What she says something like it won't move, it's dead weight, it won't move. And then characterizing the events that happened that night to other people that weren't there. And then you have the body worn cameras of EMTs and police that are saying the complete opposite. Like, she's just not her intel, and there's nothing that's she really just gets by on being cute. That's it. That's it. Like, like a couple times when she cracked a little smile, yeah, she's kind of cute. Like, probably at Home Depot, she's probably really cute to like a dude that's, around, power tools and sweaty men all day. Yeah, the girl at Home Depot is gonna be kind of looking good, but that girl she's not smart in any sense. That's a real issue. I think Kouri is unattractive. You know what? I don't think Kouri is like what some people say about Wendy Adelson being like, oh, she's nah. She's cute. That's just where it ends with me. I'm not saying like she's like fine, or like I kind of wanted to know like what she looked like, and when I saw that body worn camera in those pajamas, no, nothing. Just like Wendy, nothing. She gets by on being cute. But I've seen plenty of women who are not as cute that are intellectually beautiful, and they're like, they have more going on, they have more to talk about, they have more knowledge, and they're funny or something, you know what I mean? They have a personality. A girl that may be like, okay, she starts looking real good if their personality is really on point. But If Kouri was clever and had, you know, some wit to her and stuff, she'd be a real problem. She probably wouldn't have got caught. Chris, if you had to persuade the jury, what top 3 things would you use to sway them to vote guilty? They wouldn't be 3 individual things. There'll be 3 things that go together, because this is all a chain of events. So I would say I would just go with the debt, the debt with the only way to relieve that debt, then just go to Carmen and what she got from Carmen. Then just go with the, but I would deliver it differently. I'd probably go in reverse. I would probably say, this was in Eric's drink. These are the ingredients, and this is how this substance was hidden in this drink. And this was a sandwich, and these are the ingredients, and this is how this substance can be masked with this sandwich in this drink. This is the substance. This is the person that provided the substance. This is a text message. This is the defendant repeatedly requesting this substance from this person, and who's paying for it, who's paying for something that she doesn't use herself, and who's in very wild amounts of debt that's accruing nonstop. 20% on a debt every week for $20,000. $1,000 is a lot of money, but it's not a lot if it does what you want it to do, and you don't have those debts anymore. I would tell the story in reverse, which I probably wouldn't usually do. I would usually, if I for most, like, other cases that I've talked about on YouTube, I start from the very beginning. Like, it's easier to just say the cause and effect of everything if you know how it happened. I can go from A to Z, but I can still go Z, Y, X, W, V, U, T, S, R, Q, P, O, N, M, L, K, J, I, S, G, F, E, D, C, B, A. I can do this either way. It doesn't matter. But I'll tell it in a way that you can pick up at any point between A and Z and see where everything connects. I try to explain things that way. Little A to Z, Z to A. And you can it, and everything contextually fits. You know what I mean? Do we expect a verdict within a few hours? Do we? I think 3 hours is kind of quick. And it's 5:42 in Utah. And I got on here at like 6:45, 6:46 Eastern time. How does what makes you attractive is separate from looks, appearance? It includes being smart, talents. That I agree. But I think, yeah, I think there's a difference between hot and beautiful. Hot is, there's not much to go with that, but beautiful is there's a lot more. Actually, maybe more than 40 more. Like an hour. I think Kouri's faces while Bloodworth was doing his closing will work against her and reveals her arrogance. I agree. And Fester was saying that Bloodworth was talking about her facial expressions, but he also said, don't take what I'm saying as truth. Look at the evidence. When Kouri's big attorney, the bigger lady, when she gets up there and talks back to that judge the way she does, I sometimes think, like, you can't do this shit in regular life to a dude, right? Like, let's be realistic here. That polite, the polite, insulting kind of talk. I think she does that. Like, oh, I can't do it any other time. Like, I wonder how, like, that kind of attitude, because you have to have some kind of attitude to be a lawyer, like something. You have to have some kind of gift of gab, but like whatever she's doing, like, there's no way in real life can she solve problems talking to people that way. And I don't think that judge is, if that man was had a regular job making $45K, no female will talk to him like that. Because that boy talks like his voice is like, come on, yo. He just he's the smoothest judge I've heard. He'll listen to you, look interested, and say, I respectfully deny that. I like him. What's his name? Merzak? Not the nice, nasty talking. Yeah. Just, I respect your decision, but I respect your ruling, but shut up. Just the disrespect was wild. There's no way you can talk to this man and think, I'm going to get what I want out of that. That man's given her so many chances. I thought at first, like, the smoothest judge not the smoothest, just the most level-headed, cool judge was Stephen Everett for all the Adelson stuff. But this judge, like, he says shit on his ruling, and I swear, if I wasn't looking at the screen, I think the next thing he said is going to be like, parental advisory is whatever. Like, this is suggestive content, viewer discretion is advised. He has that voice. He has the viewer discretion is advised voice. Judge Everett, I don't think his regular speaking voice is like that. I think he went to speaking classes to speak that way. But the judge in Kouri Richins' trial, he's just, nothing bothers him. It felt like maybe they were colleagues and ran with each other for judgeship, and after they lost it to him, they opened their own firm. Who is this? I don't know who you're talking about. Smooth like butter. Yeah, he's got that voice. He's got that voice that just, man, I wish I had a voice like that, but I don't. I sound like a robot. And you know, it's just what it is. What it is. But if I had that voice, boy, I'd shit. The nice. Oh, Judge Everett. But you like, and all right, this is another thing. Like just talking about people's voices. If either one of the female attorneys for Kouri Richins, just listening to their voice, it just doesn't work. They just don't sound good. That's my opinion. I hear their voice and I hear what they say, but it's just like I don't want to listen to them speak. But I mean, the judge, man, he can do anything. Like with that voice, he can get on the phone and be like, yeah, I think what you're gonna do is you're gonna start opening a chain of tanning salons in Nigeria. How about that? Yeah, yeah, okay. I think he could do that. That's amazing. Like, I don't know if that's. Oh, and the dude with the neck brace that looks like he's about to get a settlement. The PI, he had a voice too. He had he controlled the conversation just with the cadence. He's sitting there with the neck brace, said, I'm not taking any pills today, so you're not going to use it against me. My neck hurts. And I'm going to tell you how I put those GPS trackers on all those cars. And I'm going to tell you that, yes, you're observant, but the laptop that you're looking at is actually mine. I'm going to tell you it's not a hammer, it's a rubber mallet. There's interesting people with this. Like the PI definitely had that cadence to just control the conversation. Big Fester she just couldn't work with that. He's the MVP of this, I think. I think the MVP of this is Eric's sister for calling him, and then my man pulled up and handled that. Then comes the court in pain just to make sure, he finishes what he started. Yeah, his responses were just so they did what they were supposed to do. And he didn't have any law enforcement experience, did he? I don't know. I don't mean to call her that, but like that's how I think. I don't have a name for the little one yet. I'll have something. Big Fester and what's the little one's name? I don't remember her name. No law enforcement said he. I remember that. Said he always testified for the defense with this exception. That says a lot. That says a lot. That's, man. I think the people who worked at the different insurance companies, the people, the call center people, I think they did their thing too. They really caught the BS and did what they're supposed to do. It's greed, yo. Wonder how Eric's family knew in their gut that Kouri killed him. I think didn't Eric say like to one of his friends, like, if something happens to me, it's she did that. But I think in with people like Kouri, if you bring them around bring someone like her around your family, in the beginning, she will put on the representative, the publicist. She'll have the publicist is speaking to you, not the real Kouri. And I think over time, the real Kouri was showing later on. And so by the time when Eric died, it probably wasn't too far. And just changing up the trust and everything, that should tell you like there's something wrong. Even if Eric doesn't vocalize it to his family, it's still obvious that there's a problem there. And what was the other thing? This Carmen said a couple things that I thought were I don't know. That's tough. It's tough to do what she did. And what she didn't do is tell the whole truth about how everything like really went, because no one in her situation can really tell you the whole truth of how certain things happen, because they have an addict mindset, you know? So it's like everything is just, it's like an addict is like being an addict, I think, is like walking up an escalator that's going down. Like you just have to keep, just to not hit rock bottom, you have to put so much effort in just to handle another thing, you know? But I could tell she was ripping Kouri off. Ripping Kouri off. Like Kouri is paying double the cost of those things. Mm. Double the cost. She was making money hand over fist. So much so that Robert was calling Carmen like, yo, can you gonna call me back? You trying to get some more? And then the 15 to 20. No, that's not how it goes. There's a certain amount that you're getting and how much you pay per unit. And she's just 15 to 20. There's no range like that. Lewis kept. The clock did stop. Are we? Hold on. Let me refresh the. Oh, yeah, it stopped. I don't know. Grish, who do you think should have closed for the defense? I didn't. You know what? I didn't watch the defense. I saw I don't know. I forget her name, the small one. She started talking. I was like, I have some work to do. I worked on something else. They might be letting them. Hold up. What time is it there? It's 8. It's 5 o'clock over there. Verdict will be read at 8:30 Eastern time. Who said? How? Yeah, you got to tell me how they know that. How you? Do they don't give the sentencing right there, do they? Or do they come back for the sentencing? Look at screen. Oh. So if it's read at 8:30 p.m., is that Eastern Standard Time? Isn't 32 minutes? Eastern Standard Time is -4 Greenwich Mean Time or World Time. It says on Court TV, it says that. See, I keep refreshing this. I know I don't want to be the person with the this shit going on and then not having it going. What the fuck? Get the When did they first go on? I forgot how fast they how long they've been deliberating. I remember what is that? Ruby, Frankie, and Hildebrand. Those oh man, they were doing they were getting some weird sentences. They were giving them like 4 to life, 2 to life. What is that? Like, what kind of sentence is that? Well, I'm trying to figure this out. So, yeah, if the verdict is fast, it's definitely guilty. Definitely guilty. First, said it was going to be a pre-sentencing investigation. I'll see how they would censor today. Oh yeah, yeah. Usually they do. Well, actually, yeah. Like some states do pre-sentencing investigations and have that on deck before you're actually convicted. I've seen that in Florida. One of my friends, well, I guess we ain't really friends now. He's on awaiting trial for second-degree murder in Florida, and they already had his his record up on there from I don't know. I started beginning at 125. I would thank you. Thank you, Sarita. I thought hardcore was hella clever. And then when I posted that little short, no one caught it. I'm like, oh man, they didn't get it. Or they didn't see it. Let's blow my cover. I would have filled everyone for if not for new sleuth thing and discovering that I'm really windy. I don't know where that came from. Maya, you ever do criminal law, yo? Or you just civil rights attorney? Yeah, I'm a if yeah, I think if I like logged off, I bet you the screen's gonna come up. You're gonna see Judge such and such with his crisp hairline and his Barry White voice, like, yeah, you have the verdict. And then I'm just gonna be on the couch like, fuck, I should have stayed on. I'm not. I want to know if there's like mandatory minimums for that, and ask ChatGPT. ¿Cuál es la criteria de sentencia en el estado de Utah para asesino o otro cargos violentas? Contesta en inglés, por favor. Okay, let's see. All right, in Utah, sentencing for murder and other violent crimes is governed by a combination of statutory sentencing ranges, sentencing guidelines, and the judge's discretion. Utah does not use strict sentencing guidelines grid like the federal system. Instead, it uses indeterminate sentencing for many crimes, meaning a range is set and the Utah Board of Pardons and Parole ultimately determines how long the person actually serves. If it's first degree, 15 to life, 25 to life, LWOP. Usually women don't get the as tough as sentences as men do, but with this, I think she would be treated like most men are with this. Who said it was aggravated? Or it's aggravated, right? Okay, so aggravated murder in Utah code is the most serious homicide offense. It includes murder during kidnapping, yeah, okay, robbery, the other R, multiple victims, police officer, contracted ones, torture. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's I wonder if there's special ones for poisoning. Kouri, this is in the shitter. She probably didn't eat her lunch. That type of food you don't want. I'm on the where am I at right now? I have Court TV right there. It's on. It's just chilling. Yeah, that sounds. Yeah, Corey's probably with throwing up now. Yeah, it's got to be. That's got. Oh man, waiting on a verdict is not what is not a good feeling. Where is? I mean, I never had a jury trial. I had a bench trial, but still, when you know they're about to say something that's gonna change the direction of where your life goes, it definitely is a lot of anxiety with that. Are you able to? Okay, we saw that one. I would think getting through 5 counts would take some time, but if the prosecution put their case, they I don't think there's a better way to put on that case. They got all the right people. They got them up there for the right amount of time. They got the important parts. And Big Fester and Little Buckley, I don't just had to object, continuous, all that stuff. Yeah. There's no it was perfect. I don't know. All right, so let me get the list of charges. Kouri Richins list of charges. Does anyone have like the actual charging terms for this? I think it's like the aggravated one, and then like attempted, and something with fraud or something like that. In Utah, she was screwed from the get go, especially how screwed in which way? Everybody that the most effective people that testified are people that were family, friends, like close people. Like the one friend that she did and took her house. I felt so bad for her. Sending all that money to Kouri, and Kouri just, and she sits there with the straight face, like, I don't know. Attempted, yep. With the sandwich with the avocado and fraud. Yeah, fraud. She was kind of clever with that, but not so much because it was she's copying other bank records and stuff that no. Corey's in it for Corey. That's all it is. Did they mention her, like their children in any? I don't recall them like talking about the kids too much, other than what people were doing that fateful night. I don't know, but like I don't see Kouri's emotions like you would think they would, like mentioning her kids and stuff would have a greater effect on her affect, and no. Chelsea's family. Is Chelsea, which one's Chelsea? Bloodworth. What a, yeah. Yeah, that's a tough name. That's a tough name. Like you can't be a bum with a name like Bloodworth. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but it's like that sounds like a tough name. Like you're about to you do something that at a high level if your name is like just Bloodworth. You can name the first name of that kid could be anything. It's just gonna be you're just gonna be Bloodworth. What is your name? Tiberius Ebenezer Mac Jackie Jerome Bloodworth. Boom. Thank you, Amy. One count of aggravated murder, one count of attempted aggravated murder, 2 counts of insurance fraud, and 1 count of forgery. Oh, it's a wrap. Like all of those things are like they all tie in together. It'll be easy to get her. Oh yeah. Yes, the 40. I saw, yeah. I felt really bad for her getting taken like that. I looked up the history of Bloodworth like a weirdo, feeling most likely near a lot of clay or something red in the earth. That's that's a so I would take that as like a that seems like a name that would be from like definitely somewhere in the British Isles with just the wording, but sometimes people just translate it. But who? See, I want to look. I looked stuff up like that immediately, but I didn't do that with him. Like Bloodworth, that's got to be. I've never even heard that name before. They didn't make that up, did they? Um, Kouri Richins attorneys. It's a British name. I think the one name that I when I worked in collections, and this dude was in hella debt because I used to work. I worked at several different ones, and at least 3 different agencies I worked at. There was a dude whose last name was Still Smoking. No G, just Still Smoking. I'm not gonna say his first name, but the rest of his family still smoking. Like I didn't quit. I'm still smoking. That was the hardest name. Like you can't be in serious debt with a name like Still Smoking. I mean, unless you're smoking crack, but hardcore, yes. Bloodworth is better than my 15-letter Greek surname that no one can pronounce. It's probably something Opolis or Thakis, I'm guessing. My last name's not 15 letters, it's 14, but it's easy to pronounce. I was thinking about the handwriting guy saying Eric probably didn't sign the document and couldn't say Kouri signed it. Might be enough reasonable doubt for not guilty on those charges. I didn't see. Oh, I think there might be enough reasonable doubt for that too, because they didn't really, in my opinion, really hit home with how a signature develops and becomes, what it is. And that's yeah, they didn't do that. I don't think they did it that as so. Yeah, you might be right on that. And plus, if you're married to someone, you can sign their name on their behalf. It's like technically the same. I don't know. That might be one of those charges that, but well, what's it going to do to the bigger picture? Because she still was doing things fraudulently, even though the forgery one is not may not stick, but I don't know. It's they could have done a better job with that, but it's not even the biggest thing for them to focus on. So but isn't that the charge where she said to Bryce she took out the loan without I think that was the HELOC, but there was something was that I can't remember. I just remember seeing the six signatures, the examples that they showed, but I don't like that's something I should have been paying more attention to, but from what I saw, it wasn't that wasn't that good. If I use my POA of my husband for two of it, yeah, it's a wrap. It's over. It's over because if you do that, that means you know that he wouldn't want you to do that. It was a HELOC. You're right. It was a HELOC. The life insurance was online, but the HELOC, yeah, yeah. That's crazy. Oh man. That 250K. All right. If someone does that to you, right? If you're married to someone and they turn around and just take 250K, you gotta divorce them because they're not using it for anything that's gonna benefit you or the collective of the marriage. That's immediately, oh, you're cheating. You're financing something else. There's what would you possibly do with that 250K that's on the up and up? Like the end result. Nothing. Nothing. I think she wanted to get that 250K, flip it a few times so she has all this money and all this property. So when she leaves Eric, she's not working back at the customer service counter, taking back return plywood at Home Depot. And she was going to run off to the sunset with Grossman. I hope. Oh man, I hope I hope he realize his simping ways are not the way to go. She thinks she's better. Didn't she say something like cleaning toilets or something like that? And like her, I forgot what, I can't quote it, but did did Kouri get a degree in something? Is that true? Or am I remembering that correctly? She got a master's degree or some kind of degree. Mm. I think she got like a, no, she didn't get an MBA, did she? Or for exactly. Eric did what he was supposed to do as a man. That's a, what a tough position to be in, yo. Like for Eric, stonemasonry is not like easy work. It's not the safest work. It's you. It's clearly had there's some a danger element to it. You're breathing in particles of rocks in his lungs, and he has more danger in his own home, or he has to be on high alert just eating in his house. Like how? Let me ask y'all this. Let's take away the HELOC stuff. Let's take away cheating, Josh Grossman stuff. Let's just talk about poisoning. How would you handle something like that if you felt like your spouse, your significant other, was trying to eliminate you by poisoning you? How would you handle that? Like within the options you have in the situation you're in. If you're married, you know, if you're in a committed relationship, you live with this person, kids or not. If you actually, no, just in this situation, let's just take the situation for what it is. If you felt like your spouse was actively trying to eliminate you by poisoning you or any other means, how would you handle that? Yeah, they are going to be hard to hear. Run, get out immediately. Get out the door so quick. Yeah. If I told my brothers I thought it was happening, they would come carry me out. See, good. You have family that would, look out for you. That's just. Oh, it says verdict has been reached? Or am I just now seeing that? And it's been on the screen this whole time and I didn't know. 2 minutes and counting. All right. All right, smooth talking judge. Oh yeah. Oop. Did I do this right? Oh no. Some people might not have the resources. That's true. Kouri had that job as a cashier at Home Depot very deliberately. That was her foot in the door to troll for wealthy builders. Yep. That's it. I agree. Yeah. I thoroughly agree. I wonder if people are gonna. Nah, I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna be like, oh my god, when they say the verdict, or you know how they say, if you think you're gonna have an outburst, get out of here. No emotional. Oh, there's our boy. There's yeah.
We're back on the record in 231-500-139, State of Utah versus Kouri Richins. Counsel for the state and the defendant are present. Ms. Richins. The court is informed that the jury has reached.
Can y'all hear it?
I do not know what it is. We'll invite the jury in a moment. When I do, I'll ask the foreperson a simple yes or no question. Have you reached a unanimous verdict? I expect that person will say yes. I'll ask them to hand the verdict to the bailiff, hand it to me. I will read the verdict. This brings me to important instruction number 1. There can be no outward reactions whatsoever to the verdict. These folks are here against their will. They, all the lawyers, Ms. Richins, every attendee, my court staff, the bailiffs, everybody deserves your respect. There simply cannot be any outward reactions. You have to keep your hands folded in your lap. If you feel overcome with emotion, just look down. We cannot have any outward reaction. Second, once the verdict is read and the jury is discharged, you need to stay seated and follow the deputy's instructions about how we will leave the courtroom in an orderly fashion. If anybody in here can't follow these instructions, this is your chance to leave. All right. Fair warning, counsel, Ms. Richins. It is my practice to ask all the lawyers and the defendant to stand in respect for the jury as I read the verdict. I just don't want you to be surprised. Okay. Mr. Bloodworth, are we ready for the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Lewis.
We are.
All right. I do not. instant messaging. Oh. Okay.
All rise for the jury.
Folks, please have a seat as you come in. Please have a seat. Ladies and gentlemen, would the foreperson you've selected please stand? May I ask you a yes or no question? Has the jury reached a unanimous verdict?
Yes, we have.
Would you please hand the verdict form to the deputy, and you can have a seat. Thank you. All right. Counsel, Ms. Richins, please stand. Count 1, aggravated murder. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of aggravated murder. We, the jury, unanimously agree that the prosecution has proved the following circumstance or circumstances regarding count 1 beyond a reasonable doubt. The homicide was committed for pecuniary gain, and the homicide was committed by means of the administration of any substance administered in a lethal amount, dosage, or quantity. Count 2, attempted aggravated murder. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of attempted aggravated murder. We, the jury, unanimously agree the prosecution has proved the following circumstance or circumstances regarding count 2 beyond a reasonable doubt. The attempted homicide was committed for pecuniary gain. Count 3, insurance fraud. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of insurance fraud. Count 4, insurance fraud. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of insurance fraud. Count 5, forgery. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of forgery. It's signed by the foreperson. Please have a seat. Madam Foreperson, is this the verdict that the jury reached unanimously?
Yes, it is.
Okay, you may have a seat. Ms. Lewis, Ms. Nestor, do you wish the jury to be polled?
Yes, please.
All right. Folks, I'll ask you the same yes or no question, one at a time, starting on my left, working this way. Front row first. If you could show me your lanyard number as I ask you. Juror number 5, is this the verdict you voted in favor of?
Yes.
Juror number 4, is this a verdict you voted in favor of? Juror number 3.
Yes.
I can't see your name, I'm so sorry. The foreperson, I just need to ask you again, I'm sorry. Juror number 2.
Yes, it is.
Juror number 1.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir. Juror number 8.
Yes.
Juror number 7. Juror number 6.
Yes.
All right. Counsel, is there anything further on this case before the jury is discharged? Mr. Bloodworth.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Lewis.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this trial is now finished. Thank you for your service. The American system of justice relies on your time and your sound judgment, and you have been generous with both. You serve justice by your fair and impartial decision. All of my previous admonitions are now lifted. You may speak about this case with anyone or with no one at all. It is entirely up to you. You might be contacted in the future by the press or by the lawyers. You do not have to talk with them or with anyone else, but you may if you would like. The choice is yours entirely. I'm now turning to the attorneys and instructing them to honor your wishes as officers of the court if you indicate that you do not want to talk about this case. If you do talk about the case, please respect the privacy of your fellow jurors. The confidences they may have shared with you during deliberation are not yours to share with others. Thank you, all of you, for your service. Please rise for the jury. All right, please have a seat. Ms. Lewis, we need to get a pre-sentence investigation report, and we need to set sentencing. I imagine, Mr. Bloodworth, that the state would request that that be special set.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Lewis, does defendant waive the 45-day limit for sentencing?
Yes, we will.
All right. Let me call up my calendar. Should we be looking in May, Ms. Lewis?
That's fine.
Do you have a sense of it, Mr. Bloodworth? April is not possible. In May, do you have a sense of when would be appropriate?
Your Honor, can I step back and talk to the victim's family?
Sure. And Ms. Lewis, if you need a moment to confer with anyone.
Your Honor, any day in May works.
Without having to move something, which I am, of course, willing to do, I could do it during the week of May 25 or the morning of May 13. But if those times don't work, or if the week of May 25 is too far out, I'll move something to accommodate council schedules. Ms. Lewis, why don't I begin with you?
Either of those days would work for the defense.
Is a morning enough time?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Lewis?
Yes.
Okay. We'll set sentencing for 9:30 a.m. Wednesday, May 13. We're hereby referring Ms. Richins for the preparation of a pre-sentence investigation report. Ms. Lewis, anything else on the record today?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Bloodworth?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Richins, I'll see you again, May 13, 9:30 a.m. I need everyone to stay seated, follow the instructions of the Summit County deputies. The court is in recess. Travel safely.
Was it worth it? Was it worth it? Damn. Now it's ramen and honey buns. Did she get any? She doesn't get any money, does she? Like from that truck? She doesn't get anything. Yeah, she's gonna have to hope that they put some money on her books. Because it's gonna be rough. Thank you, Sherry. Kouri would die before she cried short eating emotion, especially in front of his family and the people prosecuting her. That's who she. Yeah. The only emotion that she had was for herself. That's it. You know what? People in high profile cases, they get some simps that like him. Like, I know you didn't really mean it. They get Josh Grossmans. They get Josh Grossmans going on there and put money on people's books. It's just the way it is. Oh. I wonder. I don't know. Just speculating. If Sky Lashro did something to hide that money, she's gonna be on a Tinder for prison app in no time. Those pathetic guys. Yeah, yo, people do that. If you're in a high profile case, like people, all right. There are plenty of. There's a lot of history of people who are in jail for disgusting things, and then people are. I think there's people that think they're innocent. There's people that put money on Chris Watts books, stuff like that. Sentencing is on Eric's birthday. That's crazy. Me and him almost have the same birthday. There's one other question I saw. Oh yeah, she reminds me of Wendy too, but like not as clever. Just Edric Foss. Hold on, I had to Google that. Man convicted of murder. Hold on. Yeah, hold up. Man convicted in 2001 murder of Georgia law student Tara Louise Baker will spend the rest of her life behind the bars. Guilty of malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault. Until 2024 on Georgia. Oh, okay. I should be reading this out loud. All right. So the question was about Edric Faust, and I didn't know who this was. I seen that name, but I didn't know who it was. So it says the man convicted for the 2001 murder of University of Georgia law student Tara Louise Baker will spend the rest of his life behind bars. On Tuesday, a Clark County jury found Edric Lamont Faust guilty of 12 charges he faced, including malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault, aggravated burglary, and then tampering with evidence and first-degree arson. And that boy needs to be. The jury took more than a day to reach its verdict after a trial that lasted 2 weeks. 2001 killing of Baker remained an unsolved cold case for more than 20 years until 2024, when the GBI and Athens County Police announced an arrest in the case. After hearing statements from Baker's family as well as false relatives, Western Circuit Chief Superior Court Judge Lisa Lott sentenced him to 2 licenses as well as decades in prison to serve consecutively. I never even heard of that. I've seen that name. I've seen the Edric, but I didn't know who that. I don't know who that dude is. I don't know. I have to look into that. Usually, if I talk about a case, there's something about it that like I have some insight with. You know, like if you've seen my stuff on the Adelsons, I have a little understanding how things go with conspiracy stuff, and it's not conspiracy stuff, but how crime works on the inside. So with that, I can give my 2 cents. I have to look into this and see, you know, if there's something that I could have some, you know, some kind of if I could provide something unique in terms of content. Although I've been told I probably should just cover cases and talk about them, but unless I see something that I can bring something unique to in some way, I don't really like doing it. But like I'll definitely look into this one though. It seems like was it DNA technology? Okay. He's gonna have some problems. If he's in general pop, he's probably gonna be gone real quick. It was never worth it. Yeah, and in this situation, yeah. And I would say, yeah, it's not worth it. It depends. I'm the type that like looks at if someone is who takes someone's life, I really want to see like the reason behind it. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to defend yourself or defend those close to you. But not just to, you know, do whatever, you know. Like I brought this up, but I haven't really gone into this, but this case I'm not going to cover. I'm just talking about it in terms of context and something that I learned about myself with, I get bias and how I perceive other people who may be friends or family with someone that's killed someone or allegedly killed someone. A lot of I think for a lot of people, it's really easy to look at a case and look at true crime in general as like kind of a genre, but rather than real events in someone's life. And I've noticed people who stand with someone who's going through trial for something egregious, something crazy like murder or something like that. and they'll have their back even when you know they did it. And then I'll see things that people say, oh, this person's mentally ill, and oh, they had some kind of something, right? And the way I perceive it is if they're not like diagnosed with like schizophrenia or something like that, and they just like, and it seems like they did it for self-serving purposes or to get something, and they'll say like mental health. I'm like, shut up. And that was until February of last year. And let me pull this up real quick. Give me a second. I didn't expect to go in. I'm gonna say what it is, but I'm not gonna do any content on this. I'm just gonna talk about it for what it is. Let me find give me a second. Just bear with me for a quick second. Almost there. Just give me a quick second. Fuck. And I just have to get the photos up. All right. So all right, you see that? Y'all see this? Is it up on the screen? All right. So I'll just read it to you. All right. So 41-year-old suspect in the death of a woman who lived in a Ringling Boulevard apartment in Sarasota finally was booked in the county jail on February 19th on a murder charge, the Sarasota News has learned. Joma Jahan Gordon of 2260 Ringling Boulevard in Sarasota was taken into custody in West Baton Rouge Parish in Louisiana after a traffic stop on Interstate 4. The Sarasota Police Department reported early this month. During Gordon's first appearance in the 12th Judicial Circuit Court on February 21st, Judge Thomas Krug ordered that he be held without bond. You know what? It's probably better if I find a video on this. Where is this? What the hell? All right, this is weird. I thought there would be a video on it. Okay. Can a brother get a video clip, por favor?
I see and I hear a lot about how much these attorneys get, but I don't hear much about.
Come on, yo. Skip.
Young woman killed in an apartment last night. Detectives with the Sarasota Police Department charging 41-year-old Djalma Gordon with the crime. The murder happened inside the Lyra Sarasota apartment complex at 2260 Ringling Boulevard. Welcome to ABC 7 News at 6. I'm Summer Smith.
I'm Rick Adams. Gordon was actually taken into custody hundreds of miles away in West Baton Rouge Parish, Louisiana, during a traffic stop. ABC 7's Michaela Redman does have the latest on this rapidly developing story.
It all started with Sarasota police officers conducting a welfare check on a woman here at Lyra. After entering her home, officers found the woman dead. Now, a resident we spoke with says this type of crime is shocking. Initially, 41-year-old Djalma Gordon was a potential person of interest for the homicide. SPD detectives tracked him down to West Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where he was being detained after a traffic stop. As of late afternoon, Gordon was charged with murder. Now, Daniel Burke is a resident here at Lyra. He explained one of his neighbors heard a gunshot, and then officers went door to door asking residents if they heard or saw anything. Burke says law enforcement wouldn't tell them much information, many of them piecing together what happened when a crime scene van pulled up on scene. Now, Burke says he woke up extremely sad and is shocked by the entire situation.
We live right next to the jail. I mean, it's literally right there. Every day I see the DA assistants or whatever, all the lawyers and everything walking across the street. So it's very odd. There's a heavy police presence here. Like every day, I pass a cop. I don't even worry about it because this is the home base.
And to put that into perspective, Sarasota Police Headquarters is literally 2 blocks away. Now, SPD says they don't believe this was a random encounter, and they are confident there's no threat to the public. Reporting in Sarasota, Michaela Redman, ABC 7, your local station.
All right.
After the storms, our community comes together to rebuild.
All right, let me tell you about this man. I'm gonna get some photos up here, right? This dude, I know this dude for a long time, like high school, okay? And I'm grown. I'm not an old man, but man. So let me get these photos up here for y'all. All right. So give me a quick second. Come on. What the hell? All right, sorry about that. Just give me. Why the fuck? All right, remove. And then add to stage. Share screen. Set screen. Image file. Yo, you tell me. All right, just let me tell you something. I'm not going to research this case. I know this case. All right, I know this. I know them. Okay, I only met her a couple times, but the dude, I know him. This shit is some stupid shit. And so this girl, between my friends and we we are wondering, like, what the hell is she thinking? Because that boy ain't never pulled anything like any female like this, okay? Just gonna keep it real with you. You had some game, but like not like this. This is the victim. The victim is the woman. When they first started dating, because I live in a different state. Like I'm from Maryland. I live in New York. And so when they first started dating, I was at his house and I saw her for the first time. I was just like, shit. And like this, like, and she's like, it's not just like, oh, she's beautiful. Like, no, she's intellectually light years past him. Okay. Put in, I'm gonna, okay. Valerie Green. That's the name. That's the victim's name. Now I'm not gonna do like content on this. I'm talking. The main reason I'm sharing this is because I kind of had like. Hold up, y'all see, y'all there? Because I just didn't connect. Fuck. He's punching. All right. So, because something on the StreamYard was acting funny. All right. I met her, and I was like, now, they were together for a while. And so, I'd say pandemic time, this was gradual, but he would be acting erratic. Now, I don't live in Maryland, so I'm not there to really witness it, but I'm seeing this on social media. And I talk to him every once in a while. And amongst my friend group that I grew up with, I'm the friend that figures shit out. Okay. I'm the figure it out friend. All right. So he would like bring different subjects to me about different conspiracy theories. And they're the run of the mill ones. And then it just kind of got like into the earth is flat, stuff like this. All right. And I knew that that this person definitely became a different person over time. My friends, by say like 2022, they wrote him off, but I would still speak to him. But it's like there's something wrong, and he doesn't see it. Okay, he doesn't see he's just not I would try to explain certain things to him about him and about like concerns that I have, because I'm not like the type of friend that is just your friend because we're cool and we have a history. No, I'm the friend that's like that. All right? Like I'm that friend. I figure it out in a few ways. Whatever has got to be done, most of the time if I'm able to do it, it'll be done. If I can't do it, I'm going to find someone that can, because I look out for my friends. But if you're acting weird, you're saying crazy stuff, I'm going to tell you there's something different. And he started posting crazier stuff like on Telegram. There's a messaging app called Telegram. Some of you may know about it. And he would send me stuff every day. Every day. For over a year of just the earth is flat. Stuff, all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, okay, a little bit more background. His father was a diplomat from Jamaica. He's born here. His father, like, they were well to do. Most where I'm from is kind of a well-to-do area in Maryland. So that's not like something that stands out, but for him, he was able to not really be responsible. Okay. So when, like, I didn't go to college, some of my friends didn't go to college. I have friends that have advanced degrees. And someone asks how old he is. He's 42 now. And his father passed away, I think it was October 2023. Then it went all downhill. And he was living in Florida at this point. He's engaged to Valerie. She's like just on it. Like, I'm talking business wise. She's making connections. She's doing what she's supposed to do. This fool, no. Just no motivation, nothing like that. Like, so did he go crazy? Psych meltdown, substance use? I don't think he was in it like that. If you know what I mean. That wasn't really his thing. Like, he smoked, but he wasn't doing hard stuff or anything like that. But the boy was not motivated. In my friend group, that's not really a thing. You got to do something. You can't, you go to a job, it can just be any job, but you do something. This man was not doing anything. And by 2023, the majority of my friend group were done with him. Since I didn't live there and I didn't have to deal with some of the things that they were telling me, I didn't write them off. But right around that time, toward the end of 2023, I believe. 2023, because he got arrested in February 2025. I was at my place working, because I work from home doing videos and art and designing and all that stuff. And this man just talked. I had him on speaker and he just talked. For a couple hours, I didn't even really say anything. And I had a feeling like this is not bipolar. He needs help. He needs help. This is looking like schizophrenia. This man was not trying to hear anything like about, I'm telling him, I think you should like seek some professional help, because I'm trying to word it in the most productive way possible. I'm not like, nigga, you crazy. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying the way you're talking to me now, you've never spoken to me before. The subjects that you're talking about now were nothing like before. Like me and my friends, my friends are pretty much kind of like me, like nerds. We're just book smart, you know, and just whatever. This man is just. Then he starts making videos, like, and he's sending them to me to post on YouTube, repost them, because he knows I have a YouTube channel, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. But I have years worth of just he's trying to have me share stuff every day, at least every other day for over a year. And I'm thinking, if I'm annoyed by this and I'm 500 miles away, how is she handling this? Because all I'm seeing online is her doing all this real estate stuff, getting the money, right? Now, he's not broke because he comes from money. But that's not sustainable. You take what you got and you make it into more. So he's not doing any of that stuff. Was his fiance. They were going to get married, and apparently at some point she got tired of his shenanigans. And they were going to move out the apartment. And I think what she did was, he was at the apartment getting stuff and then waited on her to come and get her stuff. And that's probably one thing she shouldn't have done, because she just broke off their engagement. And at this point, he's pretty much alone. Like in Sarasota, we know a couple people that live in Sarasota that we all grew up with, but we're not, they're not tight like that. So I know in that news clip they said like a gunshot or things like that. None of that. This man, I'm trying to find another picture. He beat her to death with a blunt object and stuffed a plastic bag in her mouth and down her throat, which is, boy, oh man, like, it's like, I'm like, this bothers me to say this to y'all. It is, but I'm trying to explain like the bigger picture of this epiphany that I've had about having someone's back when they do something crazy. And and I want to be like, you know what? It's mental illness. It's this. And you know what? I bet you it is. I bet you it is. But it's really hard to just like I can't give them a pass on this. Like, it's like there's no mental illness. Like, if you can't tell by now, I'm very different. I was born very different. You know what I mean. So in light of that, all the other things that I have to deal with in life because I'm different. I know what I have to do. The weird part is that he's not able to see this change in his whole behavior. He's not able to see it. And when my friend told me, so yo, Joma just got arrested for murdering Valerie. What? And I'm telling you now, it looks like this boy is trying to take this to trial. Because I've been reading this paperwork like I would do anybody else that I know that gets in trouble. I read their paperwork. And if shit, but it's like I'm like I said, I'm not making. I'm just talking about this in terms of how people look out for people and be their friend and still be there for them when they do something egregious. And some people just like they'll say mental health. I can tell you this is it's mental health, but it's not like an excuse. Like the weird thing is he doesn't even know it himself. And that's what's wild. It's like, yo, put it this way. 20 years ago, I'm going to show y'all some shit. Hang on. Oh, shit. Am I on the screen? No. Am I on the screen or not? Because I can't. Something's up with this. All right. Okay. He's like, this is not the same person. Back in the not even that long ago, I got another clip for y'all. This is when he was the complete opposite. Like I'd been friends with, I say by like 2003, 2004. I already knew him for several years. Like, and give me I gotta find this clip for you. Wait just 1 second. All right. Have y'all seen the show The Wire? It was on HBO a while back. Let me find this clip. All right, here we go. Oh, 1 second. I got it. All right.
To turn myself in. For what? I shot a boy.
Now, The Wire was doing auditions at the Harbor in Baltimore City, and this man was like, "Yo, Chris, we gotta do the auditions." I'm thinking, there's no way I would get a part on The Wire, because we're too suburban for this. Like No, like I can't be an actor on the wire sound like I'm straight from Baltimore City. What I really sound like more like Bryant Gumbel or something like that. And he goes he auditions, he gets a part on the show. And I'm like, damn. You know, and so at this point, it's like, oh, Joma's gonna be. Now you can't expect to be like super famous, but like this is what I mean about like ambition and just going and trying out and seeing what happens. I myself was like, that would never happen, even though I would love to be on the wire and get all the girls that would come my way just for being on a very famous TV show for 21 seconds. Because Jesus, that year he was getting, yeah. And Baby Doll used to live in Towson. Me too. I lived in Towson for a little, yeah. It was an experience, but yeah. It could have been me, but yo, this is what I mean. And so fast forward like 20 years ago, and then he's fairly quiet out the group, but he seemed to be the one that was most even keeled, most, I'd say, pragmatic. He just wouldn't stress out about stuff. And I'd say during those years, a lot of my friends were all getting arrested, and it was just a bad time. Like 2003, 2004. Ugh. And so it's like, but no, that he's doing his thing. Like, granted, he's been arrested for other stuff later on, but nothing heavy, nothing too crazy until 2020, 2025. But it's like I don't know Valerie's family like Valerie like that to talk about this case, because I think it would be tacky and like opportunist to like do a whole thing on them, even though I've met her a few times and I know him. I think that it would be tacky, but it's just a little bit different when someone that you know does something like that. And I'm not saying like if it was something like in the street or something and he did that, I wouldn't feel like this. Like, you just don't beat women, let alone to death, and doing all that stuff. That's crazy. And I feel so bad. I wanted to say something. Like, I've seen like her family post stuff on Facebook, and I've wanted to, say like, yep, but how would I say like, yo, I was friends with, because they seem like such good people, like really good people, and it's like, damn, like she was like, like the cliche things that people say in the beginning of like true crime cases. Oh, she was so beautiful, a smile that lit up the room. She was on her way. She was so ambitious. No, that's literally her. That's literally her. And it's like, damn, I was friends with this dude. Like, for real. It's just, it's a really wild feeling. And it's hard to, like, I really wish like he got some real help. I really wish he did. Cause like the boy is very intelligent, and it's like I was really trying to like logic with give him some logic about what he's saying, but like you can't provide logic to someone whose current default setting is illogical. And and like one of the last times I talked to him, I was just listening to him talking about the craziest stuff, and it's like, dude, I think my friend might be schizophrenic, but I don't know that, but I really think so. And I know I'm going to end up I'm going to see this play out in the courts. And if he goes to trial, man, it's like, damn, I would be one of those people who be like, mental health. And I'm wondering, is there a higher percentage of people that will blame mental health when their friend or family member commits a heinous crime like this? And I would be one of those people. It was just kind of a shift in my perspective, you know? So it's give me a second. That's us. That's back in the day, right here. This is a while ago, and it's like I look at pictures like this, and I'm like, who'd have thought that this man in X amount of years is gonna do blank? You know? Oops. Crazy. But yeah, I just wanted to share that, but I think it wouldn't be right to make like a mini doc or a really worth a project on Joma and Valerie, because it would just be it would be tacky as hell. that's I don't know. I just like, granted, I like to talk about like crime and cases and stuff like that, but I like talking about when I learn something new, whether it be any subject or just like realizing that I just had like a complete shift in perspective when it comes to certain things. And it's like, I might in this, I look at what I consider everybody else and then realize like you're everybody else to everybody else, you know? And it's really it's something that like this has crossed my mind like so much over the past year. I know I haven't talked about it really, but like it's just really weird to see someone that you know really well do something that wild. And it's like, and I have friends in prison that don't, I mean, but it's like, I can understand what they did because it's part of what they were doing. But it's like, come on, you serious? And then I look at it's weird looking at, I look at like criminal cases a certain way because I've been the subject of them. So it's like there are levels to of course levels to crime and different types of crime, but it's like you doing that, come, and you know this person, and it's like you see other people in other cases on YouTube or whatever, and then they're like, no, he's having a rough time, and I'm like, yeah, right. But now I'm that person, not really, in the crowd being interviewed or anything like that, but it's like, shit. But usually those people, in my opinion, use that as an excuse to try to get like sympathy or anything about it. But the weird part is he doesn't realize it. He thinks he's perfectly fine. Oh, and maybe 20 years. I was around that way around then. I didn't go to Towson, but I was in Towson. I had a party house on Brook Road. It was lit. You might have been there. Everybody was there. But I just wanted to share that. Yeah. If there's anything else, like, I did on Kenilworth. Yo, you might have seen me back in those days. We were kind of. I live next to BCDC, Baltimore County Detention Center. I live right down the street from there for that little bit of time. I used to live on Witherwood. I used to live in Towson Woods. I lived on Brook Road. Yup. Yo, I don't know who you are, but like we were we were a wild bunch, so like it wouldn't be far-fetched if we crossed paths at some point, especially if you lived off Kenilworth, because we were out there. And if you lived in the colony around that time, that neighborhood, the colony around that time, yep, you most likely ran into us at some point. I would like to know what your friend was watching and reading during the time when he started acting right. I'll find his YouTube channel and I'll send it to you. And I mean, you can. It just sucks. Like when you see your friend ruin, like their life is being ruined, whether by choice or by circumstance, their own life, but completely ruined on the life of someone else and their family. me personally, I just don't, it's just a, because she don't want to be with you anymore. I'm surprised past the pandemic she was around that fool. Because, yeah. But it's fucked up. And it's like all her like real estate stuff and all the stuff she was doing. And because I'm of course paying attention over the years. It's like, yo, she's really doing it. But what is he doing? Nothing. Smoking blunts and like making weird videos about weird stuff. But I didn't go to town. I didn't go to school when I was in Towson. I was yeah, but I wasn't in school. Nah, I was doing too much. I'll say that. I'll tell you, I went to the real hood to get something more to the Denver. Yeah, you that might have not been the smartest idea. You can have empathy for both sides and not stand by them. No, it's not simple. You know what? Like, it's of course, I mean, I have empathy for both sides, but it's kind of it. If my friends go to jail, I put money on their books. I just do that because like I would want. That's what I would have wanted, even if I did something stupid. Like I would be like, man, I hope someone send me something. But it's not. It's something that I might just it will take time to like see it from like a bird's eye view. I guess when everything passes court wise, I'll understand it better. But it's just something for the past like years, but it's been very hard to really wrap my head around. So thank you. So I'm gonna go on and get out of here. I'm glad that y'all came by and watched Kouri show like.
Is there a verdict?
Yeah, she's guilty.
Good.
And so watch the verdict with me with no kind of advance warning and hear me rant about other things and learning experiences. But yeah, I'm gonna go on and get out of here. I'm gonna still finish the video on Kouri's case and how I viewed the prosecution's strategy. I also have been working on Luis Rivera's proffer. I like a lot of my theories on the Markel case are based on what Luis Rivera said, and I think that it needs to be parsed through every line, word for word, because no one else has done that. And they get a few things or they take things from trial, but that proffer is a gold mine of information, and not that many people. Some people just all out just don't know what he's saying. So I'm taking the time to go through the whole thing, make like 5 videos out of it, and it can be just a good reference point. It's a good way to reference everything he's saying. And from that, what I'll do is afterwards, I'll have like a database where you can just go on and then click one subject, and it will connect to the other subjects within the proffer and other things with the case. So it's not like you have to sit through I mean, of course, watch the video, sit through it, watch it a few times if you like, but then you could go and see on a diagram that's interactive, and you can see how all these things connect without having to, just sit through a video. It's right there for you. So even if you make content, you can just go, I'll have like a link up, and you just go to that link and I'll click. It will be every subject indexed in that proffer, so you can just reference all the information there and connect it to the other parts in the case. So, all right, so I'm gonna go on and get out of here and get something to eat. Y'all be safe, all right?